I grew up in Stockholm, Sweden, and I came to the US when I was 10 years old. And at 13, I had a near-death experience. It completely changed my personality, and it led me to becoming a jazz musician. When I was 6 years old in Sweden, I took classical violin lessons, probably because my father is a professional classical violinist. But almost every lesson I had with him ended with tears running down my face. The relationship with my father it's always been chaotic and even abusive. In Stockholm, I was also bullied a lot in school. I had few friends and was very lonely. I had difficulty comprehending everything I was taught in school. So much so that my mom would spend hours reteaching me everything that was covered in class every day. We managed to get away from Sweden and move back to the US when I was 10 years old. Going from the Swedish educational system to the American system was really hard for me because in Sweden, there are no tests and there are no grades. So on top of all the learning struggles I had in my dad, I was busy trying to memorize material for a test that seemed like it was trying to trick me at every turn. At a music recital, I saw a little kid play the piano. So I dropped the violin and I started doing classical piano lessons. But like most kids, I rarely practiced. It wasn't even the music that got me interested in this. It was the fact that this little kid, his performance was so captivating. I mean, he had a nice button-up shirt, he had a nice slacks, concert dress shoes. And when he finished his piece, he stood up, one arm on the keyboard, other arm around his waist, bowing as the audience clapped. I said, I want to do that. The summer when I turned 13 years old, I had to spend 6 weeks with my father and his girlfriend, and they made it very challenging for me. So fast forward, I'm still 13, I'm back at school, I'm walking out of class, and I collapse. When the paramedics came, I was unconscious. And at the hospital, they said I lost almost half my blood. Nobody looked hopeful. It turns out the stuff I vomited was coagulated blood. And I'd been losing blood a while because I had 20 ulcers in my stomach and intestines. I had class 4 hemorrhaging, which means that so much blood in the body has been lost that the body can't maintain blood pressure or circulation. And without immediate blood transfusions, the organs will fail, the patient falls into a coma, and dies. I didn't know what was happening to me. I woke up, but I had no idea where I had been. I was in shock. But strangely, as I woke up again, I felt detached from everything that was happening to me. All of a sudden, I felt calm and reassured that whatever was going to happen from that point onward, I would be okay. Obviously, I didn't die. They saved my life over a couple days with 7 units of blood transfusions. That comes out to about 3.5 quarts of blood, like 3.5 cartons of milk. It took me over a year to become healthy again. But looking back, I realized something within me had shifted. I was no longer the person I was before the collapse. All of a sudden, I had a new drive for learning. I started excelling in school. I got to the point where, for the first time, I could do homework and assignments on my own without the help of my mother. My grades improved, and I made the honor roll. As I said previously, with the piano, like most kids, I rarely practiced. But after the incident happened, I saw a YouTube video of someone playing jazz, and I knew that's what I want to do. So I switched from classical piano to jazz right then. And I spent over 10 hours a day playing, practicing, listening to Keith Jarrett, Oscar Peterson, Hank Jones, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, and so many jazz greats. And this went on for a while. And I remember feeling really frustrated that my fingers wouldn't do what my brain was hearing so clearly. And in my first year of learning jazz, I began winning awards. And now, I'm considered one of the top young jazz pianists in the country in the 18 to 22-year-old age range. So, how else am I different? For me, music and life cannot be separated. The feeling of being alive comes from playing music. I'm more conscious of the world I live in. I'm more aware of the suffering of other people. I remember seeing a girl being bullied by a group of boys that I got so upset that I chased them down the street. I would have never done that before. I was much shorter then too. I feel more connected to everyone and everything. I don't know if this is true, but I wonder, does it have to do with any of those people whose blood saved my life? I'd like to think maybe I've got the blood of a great jazz musician and a kind human being or two running through my veins. So everyone, please donate blood. If you're a kind person, if you care about humanity, give blood. Also, we could use more jazz musicians. I wrote a tune about this experience. Helping me on this is Sebastian Kuzinski on drums from Poland and Sam Smith on bass from New York. The tune is called The Coming. Thank you.
band.